And joining me live, I'd like to welcome Parmida Barez, an Iranian-Canadian author and human rights activist. Thank you so much for being with us. As a member of the Iranian diaspora in Canada, just tell us how you're looking at these protests.
Thank you so much for having me. We are in the diaspora deeply moved and intensely focused on what's happening in Iran. What's began as what we know has been called economic protests has in just days turned into a full-scale nationwide anti-regime uprising. And we are watching our families, friends, and compatriots risk their lives in real time, rising up, chanting together, demanding an end to this regime in the millions across all 31 provinces, young and old, from every background, in numbers and in unison that we have never seen.
Now, I want to ask you about the Trump administration's recent comments. Trump himself today reiterating his promise of U.S. intervention if Iran kills peaceful protesters. What do you make of the U.S. involvement there?
Well, what Iranians are asking for from the West is not for anyone to decide Iran's future for them. They are the boots on the ground, but they do need the international community on side, not throwing lifelines to this regime, helping keep lines of communication open so the world can see what's happening and engage with the democratic opposition that is preparing for a transition. In fact, Iranians inside the country have welcomed Trump's messaging. They're actually writing his names on the walls. They're chanting his name because for years, they have been begging for the international community to see them and to listen to their demands. And at least this has given them a sense of hope, actually, an aspiration. But they are the boots on the ground. But what they do need is really that international support from all governments. And I wish I could see more of that worldwide.
You mentioned that could even include something like establishing communication. Tell us exactly what you would like to see from foreign governments in supporting these protests.
Well, for many years, these foreign governments have unfortunately engaged and appeased this regime. And so they have continuously thrown them a lifeline. We need governments to finally see that this is the end to this regime. A leopard does not change its spots, and it's time to invest in the Iranian people on the streets who are fighting tooth and nail to not only free themselves, but also help free the world of the world's largest state sponsor of terrorism. So what we really need to do, as I said, is Iranians have been loud and clear. And what we have seen that is remarkable is that despite the brutal repression, internet blackouts, and mass arrests, tonight the protests have grown even larger and spread even more than yesterday. 2 days ago, as you probably have reported, for the first time, a unifying call of action came from Prince Reza Pahlavi for chanting on the streets at a precise time and date, and the entire country moved together, all 31 provinces, synchronized response. And that means the fear is broken and something more powerful is taking place, a collective unifying political will and Iranians rallying behind the prince's leadership. And the most important slogans that have been said are death to the dictator, this is the final battle, Pahlavi will return, and long live the king.
It's interesting you're arguing for the return of the Shah Pahlavi there. One of the criticisms many analysts have put forward of him is that he has no major known organization inside Iran. There simply isn't a major monarchist movement there, and that this is more of a demand of a particular faction of the diaspora. How realistic do you think it would be to have him helping pave the way to democracy in Iran?
And thank you for making that point, because what's important to notice is I'm not speaking on behalf of myself. I'm speaking on behalf of the millions that have come out rallying for him, in support of him, chanting his name and asking him to be that transitional leadership. I think we have to make a distinction here. The prince has been very clear that his role is to lead the transition, protect the process, and make sure that Iranians can reach the ballot box. Whether the Iran becomes a republic or a constitutional monarch or any democratic secular system is for the Iranian people to decide. What he is offering is something much rarer, a guarantee that the choice will finally be theirs. And this is why this moment matters so much. There's now a real opportunity for the world to help Iranians finish this once and for all, not through war, not through chaos, but for supporting a peaceful, organized transition that puts Iran on a stable path and liberates its people.
What about the fact that he himself hasn't lived in Iran for almost 50 years? I mean, I believe he came to the United States when he was about 17. Is there a risk that this feeds the Iranian government's narrative that he is a U.S. pawn?
Absolutely not. We are living in a time where we all have access to the internet. We have access to communications. He has been in touch and consistently is viewing what is going on in the country, is in contact with his compatriots in the country. Again, he wouldn't be able to rally millions of people at his call. He has collected a group of experts to create a roadmap and a transition plan, both experts inside the country and outside of the country, technocrats, economists, to make sure that there's a stable future, not only in the first 100 days, but the emergency phase, the stabilization period, the transition, and to get Iranians to the ballot box so that they can vote.
Parmida Barez, thank you so much for joining us today from Canada with your thoughts. Very much appreciate you taking the time this evening.
Thank you so much.
We're going to turn to